Hi guys, I'm DrasticSkuba, and in this video I am going to be deciding for myself and for anybody else who wants to know my opinion if Call of Duty Ghosts after its first week of release is any good. In order to decide that, we need to look at a few things. We need to think about the controls, the maps, the user interface, customization, sound, and just general gameplay and how things mesh together. So the game's got a lot of good and bad things. You can't just specify it is good, it is bad. You really need to look at everything individually. The gameplay you're watching right now is some hardcore kill confirmed on the map Octane. It's one of the smaller maps in the game. So I'd say the first thing we need to talk about are the controls. How does the game handle? What kind of improvements have we made? Is there anything that isn't functioning as well as it used to? One new thing that's different from, say, Black Ops 2, I know they're two different developers, but it's the most recent game, it's one people are most familiar with at this current time, is instead of a dolphin dive, there is a sliding mechanic, and I think it's much more useful. You can use it, you can shoot while doing it, it can move you around faster, you don't slow down, it can get you into cover. So it's really useful, and I find myself using it quite a lot. Another aspect that's been added is a contextual lean. Basically, it's called contextual because you can't just lean whenever you want. It's at certain corners you get an indicator where if you aim, your character will lean over the cover when you aim, and then when you let go, you go back into cover. So this whole lean mechanic, it lets you peek out of cover, and then if you get shot at, you have to reload. Anything like that, you don't need to strafe back in and out. You did with other Call of Duties. In this one, it's you need to reload, let go of the aim button, you come back into cover, and it's a lot more useful than say strafe left and right. But there is an option for those hardcore classic CoD fans who don't want to lean. They can turn contextual lean off and you can just stick to the whole strafe left and right routine. So there is an option for you there. Another thing different about this one is the movement's a lot more crisp, it's fluid, it feels tight and the game feels like it's doing exactly what you want. I found in other Call of Duties it was a bit more stiff. Even in Modern Warfare 3, and the movement in Modern Warfare 3 was good, but it wasn't as good as it could be. And I think in this game they've really smacked it bang on the head. I think the controls in this game are really tight, they're functional, easy to learn and use, and they're just I like them. As you can tell, I like them. Climbing in the game, the speed you climb, it depends on a few factors. It's the speed you get up, the timing of your climb, and you can climb a lot higher objects this time as well. Before you could only climb things that were like, I don't know, maybe just above waist height at the most. But now you've got a lot more options and a lot more variety, and it's a lot more forgiving if you screw up the jump. It just means you've got to climb a lot slower. So it's a lot more momentum involved. And with the shooting in the game as well, when you're shooting, the recoil is a bit more, it's less unpredictable. Like in other games with other guns, some of them are a bit all over the place. Well, the honey badger in this game can be a bit all over the place over range, but you get a lot more used to your gun quicker. So if that's the gun you're using, you're going to get used to it. So the next thing I want to talk about is the actual heads up display, the user interface in game. You know, your ammo count and like your teammates are alive, your scoreboard, all that stuff. That's all your user interface. So I'd say the biggest change being made in this one is the scoreboard itself. When you're checking your kills, checking your team's kills, checking your overall score, is much better. In other games you press back and a big ugly scoreboard would just come up in the middle of the screen, right, or the whole screen. It got right in the way of your gameplay, you couldn't see what you're doing. If you were checking your scoreboard, you were putting your life on the line in the game. You could mess up a kill streak, you could mess up your gameplay in Search and Destroy, you could mess up a whole lot just by going, how many kills have I got? So in this game, it's up at the top right now. It's just a little bar, a few bars to show you each individual player, and when you minimise it on core, it's still got your name. It's there, right in the corner, so you can always check it, like a quick glance, and never ever slow down the gameplay. The heads up display is really tidy on core gameplay. Everything's just clear enough that it's not in the way, and it's small enough that you can see it easy, but it's never ever bothering you, it's never ever catching your eye and putting you off. What they have messed up with the whole scoreboard thing is there is no ping. You cannot check your ping. You don't get so many bars showing you your connection. You cannot check it. If you want to check your connection, screw you, you're not checking it, you're gutted, you're not going to know. So if you think, did I shoot that guy? What is my connection? I need to check this. You can't do it. You're not allowed to. I think maybe it's because of the dedicated servers that are supposedly getting brought in for the next generation of consoles. So it might be because of that, but as of now, on the current gen, you can't check, and I've found that I've had a lot of connection problems in some games. Not as much as Black Ops 2, but they're definitely still there. My problem with the UI is for hardcore players, because I play both core and hardcore. More core on this game because like this is part of the reason. If you press start on any other Call of Duty playing hardcore, you still get a whole layout in the map. You can see where you are in the map, which is really good when the game first comes out because you're not familiar with the maps. But on hardcore in this game, you can't check it. There's no way to press start to see where you are. It's just a case of grinding through and getting used to it. So I don't think that's good. It's not very user friendly to someone who jumps straight into hardcore. So I think the things that need to get tidied up with the UI are being able to check a ping and adding a map in the start menu for hardcore players. The next point I feel I have to make is the create a soldier aspect, to create a squad, put a squad together, and that's kind of overtaking the create a class system, which is a whole, you've got 5 classes, pick your weapons, put them in, this is what you're using, be happy, this is your limit. So with this game, you start off with 1 soldier, and you earn squad points through the game, doing challenges, getting kills, leveling up, and these squad points you can spend on your character, on operations, on weapons, on perks, just stuff like that. So you start off with 1, and you can spend your squad points to unlock other squad members who have similar amount of custom classes, but you can only take 1 into battle at a time. It's a much better system in that aspect. Each new squad member costs 3 squad points, up until a certain point where you're paying 200, 300, 400 and 500 squad points. It's absolutely ridiculous how many points you're getting charged to buy these soldiers. I don't know what made them go through with this and put this in, but you've got an extortionate amount of squad points to pay just to get a new soldier who you get, and then you have to spend squad points to get them their own individual weapons, because buying a weapon for 1 squad member doesn't unlock it for the rest of them, which I think is good. But why are we getting charged 500 points to get the last squad member? It is absolutely ridiculous and definitely needs to be seen to. The squad points, as I said, just spend on weapons and equipment and on your perks. The perks, you only spend squad points to unlock perks. It isn't going to equip those perks. For that, you've got perk points, and those perk points are for assigning each class its individual perks depending on the setup you want. And I think there's 30 something perks to pick from in this game, and they all cost a different amount of perk points. And you start off with a basic 8 to set up your class, and if you get rid of your lethal, your tactical, your secondary or your primary, you get an extra perk point towards those perks, and they range from costing 1 point to 5 for the highest one. So in the previous installment, Black Ops 2, it's taken for that choose 10 system. If you took an attachment off your gun or put it on your gun, that would give or take a point for the tokens for setting up your class. In this, attachments don't take up points, nor do they give you a point if you take them off for your perks. Attachments are completely optional, and you can put them in if you want it, and there will be no blessing or curse if you do or don't. So the whole pick so many perks and how many there is to choose for, it can be a bit daunting for people that have, especially for people who've never played Call of Duty and don't really know what the perks do and what are the most useful for certain game modes. But once you get used to it, it's definitely a much better system for setting up your class compared to what it was like before. The next point I'm going to make here is, I'd say it's a negative point. I do not like how they've done it, and that's the challenges in the game, the operations as they're called in this. And they're basically your whole get so many kills with an attachment or with a weapon, or do a certain objective. But if you do this, you get extra XP, you unlock items, just stuff like that. In other Call of Duties, you had them all, they were just listed there. You could look at them and you thought, I'm going to do that. You could go into a match and try to do it, or they would happen accidentally. But in this game, they've messed them up. I don't know why they've done what they've done, but you get only so many available to you at one time. You look at them and you'll have, say, 5 slots, like weapon ones and like just normal gameplay ones. I can't remember the cut-offs, but it doesn't really matter because I fucking hate them, to be honest. If you don't like those operations, you have to wait 14 days to get new ones, or spend a squad point to unlock more, and you don't know what ones you're going to get. It's completely random. So you're just taking a potluck guesses. Am I going to get that or am I not? Now we're into the big topic. Topic everybody wants to know about, and that's maps. These maps are huge. They are fucking huge. I mean, the ones that stand out to me are Stonehaven, Siege, and Whiteout. I hate Siege. I fucking hate Stonehaven, and I hate Whiteout. I hate them all. And the reason I hate these, it's not because they're big. It's because they're dense. There is a difference. But because these maps are so big, they are able to be more dense. And that means they are camper and sniper friendly. They are multi-leveled. There are so many levels on roofs and windows and buildings that originally I didn't even know you could get there. It's just not. In other Call of Duties, you don't think I'm going to check that third floor window, but you need to do it now because there's so many places that dirty campers can just sit and wait and shoot fuckers. Like the denseness in these maps, there is so many dark corners and like bushes and grass, like especially in Stonehaven, like anywhere a player lies down, he's hidden. It doesn't matter where he lies, he's hidden. And because the colours in this game are so dull, like the one in Modern Warfare 3, they're so dull, it's hard to see a player amongst the rest of the map. It's really hard to tell what is what. But I like some of the maps. I mean, there are some smaller ones. I like Sovereign. I like Flooded is okay. There's a few others I like. I mean, there is good maps, but I hate how dense they are. There's too many hiding spots. It's just too. This game entirely is camper and sniper friendly. The shotguns, for instance, are fucking useless. They are terrible. Even on Infected, I've got more kills as an Infected than I have as a Survivor, because it's just the game is just tailored towards snipers and campers, especially in Proof with the maps. And speaking of the dull colours and stuff, the graphics on current gen, they are impressive. They are nice graphics for a Call of Duty game, but they're not going to turn heads. Like, they're not going to beat Grand Theft Auto 5, they're not going to beat Crisis 3, they're not going to beat Skyrim. There's games with much better graphics out there, but the graphics in this for a Call of Duty I suppose are okay. But there is one evil problem, and that is the evil Stonehaven cows. The snipers in this game are way too OP and too easy to use. Like these snipers in this game are so overpowered. Like you find yourself like as I'm using them, I've played like most Call of Duties and I was a shit sniper. I've always been a shit sniper. I've never claimed to be a sniper. I've never like claimed to be a quick scoper. In this game, I can snipe, and I can snipe almost as good as I can use an automatic weapon. Like the snipers in this game are too easy to use. They're so accessible, and that might sound good, but for people who are experienced snipers, they are boom, 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 taking you down. If you like trick shotting, this is your game. The sound in this game is loud, it's more realistic, and I appreciate it, but there will be sound hoarding, there will be people with their tuttle beaches being able to tell where you are across the map, but that's what you got dead silence for. The thing that stands out to me is that it seems that a tiny feature, but I like it, and that's the suppressors, the silencers in the game. They don't make that stupid the way they did in other games, a stupid little pop, because they're actually making the real noise that a silencer made. You can still hear them, but the main use for silencers now is just to hide you from a minimap, so that's definitely there, and that is good. So overall, I like the game. It's a solid, good game. There's a lot of things that could be fixed with patches and updates, but the dense maps and stuff, that is there. Hopefully, if you've got the season pass, we'll see some more maps that are more balanced for each different player and different playstyle. But the main problems I've got with this game are the multi levels and denseness in the maps with no way to combat it, like no way to balance things out. Not being able to check our ping to see our connection for the game, and the way the challenges work, get operation system, and of course the Stonehaven cows. So that's all I've got to say about the game, guys. I hope you enjoyed my first impressions over the first week of Call of Duty Ghosts, and if you want to hear any other updates or my opinions on individual maps in detail, just let me know in the comments. And I am DrasticSkuba, and I will talk to you all later on. Bye bye.